Hello and welcome to the new and the latest episode of Auto Today, where we will be giving you a lowdown on the newest, the meanest and the fastest machines on the road. I'm Avantika Singh and a warm welcome to all of our viewers. Well, this week on the show, we will be continuing with our challenge of crossing India in the Mercedes CLA. Apart from that, we'll tell you all about our ride in the Volvo XC90 and we'll tell you about our drive in the new Mahindra Mojo. That and lots more news from the world of automobile right here on Auto Today. So why wait? Let's get started. Well, last week, our two Mercedes CLAs started their journey from Kargil in the north to Lakhpat in the west. Now, each aiming to touch as many states as they could while crisscrossing the length and breadth of the country. And this time around, we caught up our boys from Auto Today at Zero Milestone in Nagpur, the centermost point of India.
With a challenge like no other, Auto Today's Crossing India drive started with an adventurous journey in two Mercedes-Benz CLAs from the far corners in the north and west of the country. From the merciless Zojila Pass in Jammu and Kashmir to the thoroughly enjoyable national highways of Gujarat, the two cars are now headed towards the Zero Milestone in Nagpur. With 2 days to cover 850 kilometers, we had ample time to leisurely cruise along the beautiful stretch of National Highway 59. Enjoying the greenery all around and the last showers of the receding monsoons, the day and drive couldn't have been better. But after entering Madhya Pradesh, roads started to narrow down and soon after completely disappeared. Sharp rocks and random potholes took a toll on the CLA's low-profile tires, and sure enough, two flat tires left us stranded 110 kilometers away from Indore. The next day, the good folks at Benchmark Mercedes-Benz in Indore helped us with a set of new tires, and we headed straight for Nagpur. Meanwhile, the north to southbound CLA crossed the capital city of Delhi.
It's a beautiful morning here in Delhi, and from now we'll be heading to Madhya Pradesh via Uttar Pradesh.
The journey remained fairly uneventful as the team and their red CLA continued towards Nagpur on beautiful roads with ancient forts in the background.
2600 kilometers and 6 days later, we have finally reached Uttar Pradesh. We are in the beautiful city of Agra, and behind me is the historic Agra fort. From here, we'll make our way to Sagar, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and we'll be stopping there for the night. So come on, let's go.
So we finally managed to reach the halfway point in our journey in Auto Today's epic Crossing India drive, and we're here at the Zero Milestone in Nagpur.
So Abhik started his drive from Lakhpat, which is the westernmost point of India, and I started my drive from Kargil, which is in Jammu and Kashmir. So let's carry this journey forward from here.
Both cars then went onwards towards their respective destinations. While the red CLA had Kanyakumari in its sights, the west-east team still had a long way to go before reaching the northeast. We'll bring you more action and adventure in the next episode of Auto Today's Crossing India Drive.
Well, all set to rewrite the rules in the entry-level segment is Renault's Kwid, a hatchback in the guise of an attractive SUV. And we drove this car in Goa just to see what the tiny SUV has to offer.
Renault India has been on a roll ever since the Macho Duster, a capable and good-looking compact SUV. Tasting sweet victory after recording phenomenal sales, Renault now brings another first, this time targeting the compact hatchback segment. The Kwid may look like an SUV, but in profile, it is essentially a tall hatchback. With a sub 4 lakh rupee pricing, the Kwid is aiming straight for the likes of Maruti Suzuki Alto and Hyundai Eon. But is it good enough?
The Kwid, Renault feels, will be a game changer in this segment. It has the looks of an SUV and it has features that are much above the class where the Kwid will be positioned. Let's take it for a drive and see what all it has to offer. The number of innovations inside the Kwid are even more than on the outside. Look at the instrument panel, for example. All digital, not only does it look good, but it saves costs. The 7-inch touchscreen multimedia display has been borrowed from the other Renaults. The Duster has it, the Logi has it, and now the Kwid has it. And this will be the first car in its class to have a satellite navigation system on board. The wind-up power windows are there on the front and the switches for them are in the center console. Again, a cost-saving measure, but at least we are getting power windows on a car that is going to cost under 4 lakh rupees. The cabin of the Kwid is quite spacious. There's decent headroom in the front. Even in the rear, the headroom is not restrictive. Overall, space is good. The cabin feels airy and spacious. Even though the glass areas are small and the rear windscreen is quite narrow, still there is a feel of roominess. And the boot is a good 300 liters, which is more than any other car in its class and comparable to the much bigger hatches in India. The car drives really well. Renault's expertise in driving dynamics is evident on this car as well. Not only does the car handle well, but its ride quality for a car of its size is just brilliant. We feel it especially on Goan roads, which are not really bad, but they are quite a mix. There are broken surfaces, there are good smooth highways, and there are unpaved sections as well. And over all of them, I felt that the Kwid behaves like a much larger and heavier car. It doesn't feel like this really light 660 kg small hatch. The engine is 800cc, of course, so it's not a stonker. It is not pulsing with power, but it is quite adequate for driving in the city, and even on the highway it manages to keep up with the traffic quite well. Although it does get a little rough at the top end of the rev range, but people who are going to be buying this car are definitely not looking at outright performance, and the 25 kilometer per liter fuel efficiency should surely work in the car's favor. The engineers at Renault have done a fantastic job at making this car. First and foremost, it has great looks. It looks like an SUV, and that's a craze, not only in India but around the world. On top of that, the car has a very frugal engine. Renault is claiming that it will give over 25 kilometers to a liter, so that puts it in a class of its own, the best in the segment, or actually the best petrol car in India according to Renault. And added to that, the car offers a good mix of features and space, which Indians are always looking for. The Kwid definitely will give the Eons and the Altos a run for their money.
Well, Volvo is presenting its new and futuristic design for its upcoming cars. So we headed to drive the first one of them, the stunning XC90. Let's see how the Swede fared.
To run a single car model for over a decade takes perfection in an ageless design language, engineering genius and technical expertise. These are traits which Volvo knows well enough to recreate the stunning new XC90 SUV. Volvo has kept the XC90's design simple but has used prominent features to accentuate strength. Take a look at these gorgeous LED headlamps featuring T-shaped Thor's hammer daytime running lights. The bold new iron mark on the freshly designed grille announces the SUV's arrival with Elan. The interiors are as beautifully crafted as the exterior and features leather upholstery accented with wooden panels.
The car looks good from most angles, be it the front or the side profile, and the rear is no different. However, there are more than just looks to a SUV. In the Volvo XC90, the biggest plus point is that it has two seats at the back. However, in case you don't need them, you can actually flip them down with a touch of a knob, and they come down like that to increase the amount of boot space. So now you have a cavernous storage area for most of your family. I can say that it's more than a weekend's worth of luggage which can be put in here.
Less is more for Volvo now as their latest Drive E engines aim to extract more performance and overall efficiency by using smaller, turbocharged engines. The XC90's 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine produces a healthy 225 bhp of power and 470 Newton meters of torque.
Lonavala is not your regular city, it's a hill station, and that means we are driving through all the curvy bits. Driving around these hills is like a doddle. Even when the climb gets so steep, the XC90 has no problems taking it in its stride. We feel very comfortable. There is very little noise coming into the cabin, and overall I would say that this car is a perfect tool for those highway drives.
The new SUV also features a redesigned chassis and suspension system that extensively makes use of lightweight materials.
When we compare this car to the older generation of the XC90, we must say that it's a big step forward for Volvo. It looks much better, much better. It has all the tech in the world: air suspension, a tablet computer for your center console, and all these gizmos. Not to forget a very smooth engine and a good ride quality. So all in all, to sum it up, I must say that this is a big step forward for Volvo, and this is the way to go.
All right, it's time for a short break, but stay tuned because on the other side we'll find out if the Mahindra Mojo lived up to it. And now it's time to take a look at all the latest news from the automobile world.
Maruti Suzuki has launched the Baleno at an attractive price starting at Rs 4.99 lakh. The second Nexa product from Maruti's, the Baleno is a premium hatchback now sharing space in the showrooms with the S-Cross. The Baleno brings contemporary looks, noticeable in the new front grille design, LED running lamps, 16-inch alloy wheels and overall styling. Maruti Suzuki has retained the tried and tested engines, and the Baleno is available with a 1.2-litre petrol engine with an automatic transmission option and the 1.3-litre diesel engine. The top-of-the-line diesel variant in Alpha trim will cost Rs 8.11 lakh ex-showroom Delhi.
Some of the wackiest concept cars make it to the annual Tokyo Motor Show, and the 44th edition of the Auto Show wasn't any different. The buzzword this year was autonomous cars and alternative fuels, with notable entries from Mercedes, Mazda, Toyota, Honda and many others. We'll bring you all the update from Japan in our 2015 Tokyo Motor Show special in the next episode.
Bajaj Auto recently launched not one but 3 new Avengers. Christened Avenger Cruise 220, Street 220 and Street 150, the bikes will feature refreshed styling now catering to a wider audience. The Street 220 is equipped with a 19 bhp 220cc engine, while the Street 150 features a 150cc 14.5 bhp engine. Both engines are oil-cooled units borrowed from their Pulsar range of motorcycles. The Street uses a blacked-out theme and revised styling features, including alloy wheels, lower handlebar, among other changes. The Avenger Cruise 220 retains much of the original design, with added chrome and new graphics. The Avenger Cruise 220 and Street 220 have been priced as ₹84,000, while the Street 150 has been priced at ₹75,000 ex-showroom Delhi.
And Rolls-Royce is not the only reason why this small town of Goodwood is famous in England. Later that day, we visited a grand motor racing event. The Goodwood Revival, where racing cars is not the only attraction, going back in time and dressing up in periods is.
For me, I suppose I'm history really. But yeah, it's very, very hard work. And we've got a fantastic team here, all different ages. We come from all over the south of England.
The enjoyment, the excitement, the fun. It's great. Expensive cars, good drivers, and we're in charge of them. So it's a wonderful weekend. What more could you ask for?
It's absolutely brilliant, you know, as everybody has said, like, you know, it's fun, it's enjoyment. We're all very enthusiastic towards the sport, motorsport.
Goodwood Racing was an event very popular in the 50s. Unfortunately, it was discontinued for reasons still not fully clear. Over the past few years, international sponsors and locals together have made this a must-attend event. And you'll be surprised to see racers as old as your granddad participating and winning motor racing contests.
I think, the revival is there are so many aspects to the revival. I think it is quintessentially British, it is retro, it is motor racing, it is fancy dress, but it is very much that Britishness, the British aspect, and that Lord March and the team here do so well. And of course it's very real. This was a true motor racing circuit. It is very authentic. And of course, you know, Rolls-Royce motor cars just 1 mile down the road.
Now, motor racing events take place all over the world, and vintage car rallies also take place all over the world. So why is Goodwood Revival so special and so different? Well, the answer to that question exists in the very name itself. This is Revival. It's not just about the cars that are racing over here throughout the day, but also about reliving an era. It's like taking you back 40 years, whether it's the cars or even the dress that everybody here gets to wear.
As I wrapped up my weekend at Goodwood, I headed back to India satisfied, fully aware that this is the closest I'm ever going to get to owning the 2Rs.
Well, the Mahindra two-wheeler finally unveiled the very elusive Mahindra Mojo. So after 5 long years, we got some quality time with this sports bike and took it for a ride from Bengaluru to Coorg. Did it enchant? Well, let's find out.
Mahindra two-wheelers has been hard at work over the past few years, preparing their halo product, the Mahindra Mojo. Showcased in the last Auto Expo, the final design had a lot of changes compared to the version unveiled 5 years ago. Round twin headlamps remain from the original design, but now get a bikini fairing along with smart LED running lights. The tank has gone from a flat unit to a more muscular one, adding more visual mass to the front end of the bike. It holds 21 litres of fuel, and Mahindra claims that it was enough to cover the treacherous Manali to Leh route. Seats are comfortable, but the soft padding also means that long rides can get tiring. The ergonomics are relaxed, and the upright riding position will suit a wide variety of riders. The tail section is a sporty-looking unit reminiscent of dirt bikes, as Mahindra has kept it compact with a white-cased LED tail lamp and short fender. Twin exhausts feature tuned exhaust note, which can be further enhanced by removing the DB killer. 320mm front brakes are courtesy J. Huan and are the largest in its segment. The instrument cluster has been kept compact and feature blue backlight along with LED indicators which move with the tacho needle. There's also a max speed recorder among other displays. The Mojo displayed poise on the highway and turned out to be a hoot to ride on open stretches. The long wheelbase helps the bike with high-speed stability, but Mahindra have taken various road conditions into account where stability is further aided with the help of longer suspension travel and relaxed rake angle. The Mojo, however, is not a canyon carver, as the same traits that make it enjoyable on open highways hinder handling in tight corners. Overall, the Mojo is an excellent product from Mahindra and has been well worth the wait. It does pack a lot of touring potential with its high ground clearance, relaxed manners and ergonomics, along with top-notch equipment which until now have been seen in bigger bikes only. The 300cc engine packs torque but is refined. Mahindra has launched the Mojo at 1.58 lakh rupees ex-showroom in Delhi.
Here we are with the Mahindra Mojo after having covered 500 kilometers in the last couple of days from Bangalore to Coorg and back. It's been a brilliant ride and we've really enjoyed the Mahindra Mojo and its performance. And Mahindra has got a lot going for it here. The styling really works. Everybody has appreciated really well. The engine performs really nicely. It's perfect for touring, and touring seems to be the prime focus here. The ride quality is just superb and perfect for touring that way. What remains to be seen here is the pricing. Now Mahindra is trying to position the Mojo as its halo product, and for it to work and for the Mojo to be on top of its competition, Mahindra have to get the pricing spot on.
With that, it's a wrap for this week, but I'll be back next week bringing you lots more mean machines to room away on. Till then, all you guys explore and drive safe. Enjoy your cars. I'm Avantika Singh, switching off the ignition for now.